Yo, what up? FPL Gronk here with my first ever FPL video. That's right. It isn't actually my first video. I just shot my first ever FPL video and it was so crap. The sound was so quiet. I had to redo it again, which I'm doing right now. And if you didn't infer from the intro that I made this morning, everything on this channel is going to be a little bit crappy. The microphone's crappy. The setup's crappy. I'm pretty crappy. Not as crappy at FPL as I thought I was going to be. This is my first ever season playing FPL, and it hasn't gone as bad as it probably should have. I'm very new to fantasy. I did AFL fantasy, which is the fantasy with the National League of my native Australian rules football code, and I liked it so much that I needed more, and so now I'm doing FPL fantasy. And it's maybe more fun, or at least maybe I sucked harder at the AFL fantasy. And yeah, but it's been a learning experience. I've basically just been watching other YouTubers and stuff to get good ideas of what to do and how to do everything. And I've made a few mistakes, like things that now when I look back at, I realize how much of an oversight it was. But I thought, at least for this first video, I'm just going to go through every game week that I've already had, and yeah, sort of reflect a little bit, and see what I've done wrong and see what I've learned, and not feel too bad about an overall rank of 174,623. That's not too bad at all. Some people are in a far worse state. Anyway, this was my game week 1 team, right? So went with the Sanchez Steele combo, and Trent was a fix, Salah was a fix, Fernandez was a fix at the time. Barnes was a dumb choice, but I'm a Leicester fan, and I just was like, yeah, saw him last season and thought, yeah. I think a few people thought, yeah, so maybe that wasn't too dumb. Antonio was a great pick. A lot of people were on that one. Ings was a short-term pick. I kind of knew that from the start, and it did sort of pay off. I think he scored, at least he got a return on that first game week. Rafinha is definitely, I think, a good value player, but I was really close to having Ben Rama instead of him, which would have been sweet, because I heard the two big differentials at the start of game week 1 were Greenwood and Ben Rama, and I just missed out on doing that. Simicast also was sick. That was a little temporary one, and it was all pretty sweet for a first week game score of 101. That wasn't bad at all. Now, I can't tell exactly where I was ranking, but I think for the first couple of game weeks, and I pulled my game week, I think, in my wild card in game week 3, and I think I ended up after that like at 17k or something. So that was the highest I ever got, and I was like, oh yeah, this is actually a piece of piss, this FPL. But it turns out maybe it's not. And I've had a lot of red arrows since. Still, you can't complain with 174,000-ish rank. That's pretty good. So game week 2, I rolled my transfer. Got 83, which wasn't bad at all. Captain Salah, maybe it should have been Antonio, but who knew? I can't remember what the fixtures were there. Glad I didn't decide to go for Fernandez, but I can't quite remember exactly what happened in this game week. Oh, I got a return off Rafinha. I didn't realize I did. What did he get in game week 2? Is it a goal? Goal scored? Ah, man, I didn't even remember that. Yeah, okay. Like, he's the real deal, right, Rafinha? Whew. Had Greenwood. Yeah, so I rolled my transfer for the following week, game week 3, and I bought in Ben Rama for Barnes and Amati for Veltman. This was the first time I've made this mistake, and I've made it so many times recently. Amati, I saw that he was going up in price, right? This is the thing that I use. I saw other FPL YouTubers use this, and there's a few other ones, but I'm not across it. I use this. I've started finally using FPL Live, which is really handy as well. I don't have that open at the moment. I don't need it for this video. But yeah, look, pretty sure, yeah, Amati was going up in price, and I didn't yet at this time understand that the selling price goes up half as quick as the buy-in price or the actual price. I don't understand it enough to explain it right now, but I'm sure most of you out there who play FPL know what I mean. And I was just so hungry for the cash price rises because in AFL fantasy, like the Aussie rules thing that I had played previously, players go up in rank every game week depending on how they perform, how many points they get. And you really, really, particularly early on in the season, you want to be on those players that are making you the cash so that you can build up your bank. And then for the last half of the season, you've got all the dosh to afford sweet plays and make the big points. It doesn't look like it works that way with FPL. Obviously, points are mainly on returns or clean sheet, assists, goal, and I guess bonus points, which that's still a mystery to me. I don't really understand bonus points at all. I get it with keepers; they make a few saves and they get a bonus point or something, but yeah, I still don't understand that. Game week 3, I managed to captain Antonio, which was a sweet move. I was very happy with that. I mean, Salah would have been too much worse, 20 or 22, and yeah, but the Amadi thing was kind of dumb. I thought he was going to go up in price, and I was just going to get that. I just thought, well, that's just one price rise. He's a benched player, so it doesn't even matter. I don't think he even played that much after this game week. But yeah, I realized when I was like, hey, where's my price rise? When he only went up once, and I realized then that he had to go up twice for me to get a price rise, and it's really not the priority in FPL. So lesson sort of learned, except that I kept making the same mistake. I'll get into that because I've made it this game week as well. Maybe, I don't know. It's probably fine because of who it is, but all will be revealed. Game week 4. Okay, this is when I wild carded, right? Now I've got to give a shout out to Total Tactics FPL. It used to be Total Tactics Football. It's Fran's channel. He's awesome. Without watching his videos, I would be nowhere near going as well as I sort of am this season. But he wildcarded and he had this pretty sweet template, and I sort of mostly copied. I don't think he didn't go for Traore, and that was a mistake. Should have gone for Sarr. Traore, bad move. I didn't really know much about Sarr, but people were talking about him a little bit. And then the next week after, I think he scored twice in a row, 2 game weeks in a row, got returns, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Sarr!" Oh! And yeah, I missed that one. I got Christensen in. I think I had a plan to get I was going to get another Chelsea defender in later. Everyone was talking about Chelsea defenders at this point, and I thought, well, I'll just do this for a little bit, and eventually I'll probably go for Rudiger. Wish I had gone for Rudiger on this one because I got him in after he scored that goal. So whatever game week that was. But yeah, I also went for the threemium structure: Salah, Ronaldo, and Lukaku. And I thought, this is sweet. Like, particularly after this game week, getting 86, and they all like returned the way they did. The only thing that kind of peeved me was that I didn't captain Ronaldo. I wanted to, and I missed the deadline. I didn't actually realize when the deadline was, and I did it, I think, just before the game. And the deadline would have expired like about half an hour beforehand. So I was kind of a bit like, how many points did I miss out here? I think it would have been 8 or something. But I guess I can be glad that I didn't captain Antonio. I know someone who did that, and they got a -2, and that would have been brutal. Also, was really lucky to have Marcel in, because if I could have afforded Semedo, I would have gone for him. So that was very nice as well. So, I guess a lot of it is sort of like luck or whatever, and you can't kick yourself too much for making a decision that maybe was good until it wasn't in retrospect, if you know what I mean. I'm not too hard on myself. I mean, other people do that for me when they see my content and my crappy intros and stuff like that and my crappy videos. I don't need to be down on myself. Anyway, game week 5. What did I do? 49 points. This is when I really started to realize that the threemium thing kind of sucked, right? I was really butthurt about the Traore thing. I thought that was a bad move. Jota, I thought, was a dumb choice as well. I think I was really keen to get rid of him, and I ended up getting rid of him before he returned, so that kind of hurt as well. I also didn't know how the bench thing worked, because in AFL you have like defender bench slots, midfield bench slots, and forward bench slots, and a ruck. Ruck is like the guy who is held tall and goes to the ball. I don't know if you guys know Aussie rules. You've got a bench spot for him and a utility spot, which can go play anywhere. That's the other thing with AFL. They have double position players, so everyone has either 1 or 2 positions, so you can move them around your field as well. So that's another thing that this kind of... I remember when I played this, I thought this looked really simple, but I realized it's just... it's complicated in a different way. But anyway, I didn't know about this bench stuff. I didn't know that the first one is who comes off your bench. Otherwise, I mean, Alexander-Arnold, he was out, so I probably would have put him here or next to Antonio was also out, and I think Livramento came on anyway for Williams because of that, him not being there. But so that was lucky. But this was the week that I realized that's how that works. And I was like, ooh, okay, noted. Anyway, so game week 6. Come on. 40 points. So this is like when it really started to slide and get those red arrows a bit. So I think from memory, my top, I was just outside the 17k, maybe game week 4 after the wild card. So yeah, I think actually after game week 3, I think, or maybe 4. Doesn't matter. I can't remember, but I was doing a lot better, and then it started to slide. I got Rudiger in the week after he scored the goal. Was kicking myself that I didn't get him in sooner, and I realized what I'd done with my wild card was bad, and that the threemium structure is a total lockout, right? I think here I was realizing that Livramento was a bench player. I hadn't, I don't think everyone hadn't fully recognized how good he was to even play yet. I don't know how we scored last week, but the week before this one. But yeah, he's been scoring well enough, and people have just been playing him now. But I was kind of liking this structure, right? And I think I was kind of considering that I would have to have one of my, so Traore, I think, normally plays, but they had a bad fixture, even though Marcel obviously returned, I think, clean sheet that week. And Traore, I don't know what happened with him. Maybe I think he didn't even start, and he got on for like the last 10 minutes or something like that. But yeah, so I think normally my structure with the wild card, what I was thinking was, having this guy, this 6 million on the field, and then having a fourth midfield spot, which was either going to be Alan, Sissoko, or someone else. I think, because I traded in Basuma. We'll get into that, and the Basuma thing was a massive mistake. But I realized that with a threemium structure, I was going to have to field a player that pretty much just should be a bench player and shouldn't be on your field anyway. And so I was looking at the Everton fixtures and the Watford fixtures, and they were a little bit muddy. And so I think the next game week, I might have rolled my transfer. Yeah, I rolled my transfer this week, and I had an eye on Cancelo as well. I think Cancelo was knocking it out of the park, and I was like, I need to get that guy in my team. Alexander-Arnold. So did he not play for 2 game weeks? Maybe that was it. And I remember holding him because I had other priorities, but I was happy with that in the end. I know a lot of people got rid of him and then have had to make moves to get him back. So not all bad, but yeah. So did I get Gray in last week as well? I think that might have been the thing that I did. Gray and Rudiger. That's right. I got rid of Jota, downgraded him to Gray to get Rudiger. And yeah, Everton had a really good match, I think, against Norwich, and so that was kind of the backbone of my points, actually, these two. But yeah, so I think after this one, I had my eyes on Cancelo, and I also looked at Basuma's fixtures. I thought the Brighton fixtures would complement Everton and Watford really well, realizing that I would have to be playing a 4.5 player every week with the threemium structure. So I got Basuma in. And he went down in price the next day because I didn't know about the injury. And obviously this was the international break, and everyone was looking at I think Douglas Luiz for a 4.5 bench midfielder. And so I was like, oh, what am I doing? That was just so stupid. Why didn't I just pay a little bit more attention? But I was scared about the Cancelo price rise. So I jumped too quickly and kind of made a rash decision, and I lost 0.1, which isn't the end of the world. But definitely at this point, my thinking had kind of gone back to make the money, get the money, have more money to spend on more players, which obviously helps towards the end of the season. But it's not your kind of priority. You need to make sure you're getting the points as well. So that was a bad move. I think, why did I even have him in spot 1? Clearly it wasn't across this whole bench thing, maybe even at this point. But yeah, that was the idea, was to have the Sumo, Allen, or Sissoko play every week. I checked the fixtures, and one of them had an obvious good fixture every week. I don't think any of them scored any more than 2 points since I had them in. So yeah, that was pretty dumb. This whole threemium structure, I learnt my lesson. I think it was from here, this point, and I was like, all right, got Cancelo, and I'm going to go 4 at the back, and I'm gonna be getting rid of, I think Ronaldo was probably on the chopping block. Obviously Lukaku still at this point. Everyone was like, oh, Chelsea, got to have Lukaku. So I was stoked to have him, and I was going to downgrade Ronaldo. And so I'm pretty sure that might have been what I did. Yeah, the very next week, went down to Vardy, and I did this like right after game week. I don't know if Ronaldo was dropping in price, but Vardy was definitely going up, and I didn't want to. I don't think I would have been locked out. Actually, no, I totally would have been, because the other one I did was Rafinha. I traded, was it Gray? No, not Gray. Sissoko up to Rafinha, because I wanted to get Alan, Sissoko, and Basuma off my field for my starting 11. So I was like, all right, so I'm gonna have Rafinha and Vardy, and I think that was it. It was like 0 in the bank. So I went early for that reason, and I took my first hit to get Rafinha in and enable that. Anyway, later in the week, Lukaku's injured, right? And I'm like, God damn it. And it was really frustrating. There was no way I could have afforded this if I had hung on to Ronaldo anyway, so I wasn't kicking myself too much. But I actually took my second hit in the same game week, so -8, and I went to Tony. And this was annoying because I really wanted Mbomo, however you say, instead of Tony, but now I'm kind of locked into this Tony thing, and I think, well, I guess Mbomo had that injury, so I was kind of like, okay, lucky, but I don't know, people have been talking about getting 2 of them on, but I'm like, I don't know, I think I might just stick with Tony, and I'm kind of looking at Son, maybe, but that's probably going to take me another hit, but we'll get into that. So this is this game week 9? Yeah, so this is like last week, so obviously Vardy's blanked, and you know, it wasn't too bad, like 97 this week, because, yeah, this is the Salah thing, and everyone else had a crap week. I was so lucky to have Livramento, and yeah, Rudiger as well, so this was all pretty much fine for this game week. I was actually chuffed that it didn't hurt me too much. I think I calculated that hit only, I would have been 1 point worse off. And so that's kind of -7 points in the end. So, maybe lesson learnt, I think. I don't know. Clearly not, because game week 10, this is pretty stinky. I mean, other people, it was dead average, wasn't it? 42 and 42. Yes, that's what it was fine, you know, but I think I was looking at James and Chilwell now and getting super jealous. And so what I ended up doing, like, I was thankful for the clean sheet from Chelsea. That was probably the difference, having both of these guys. But Christensen's kind of been like, I feel like I've gotten lucky, because I've been looking at him going, that was a bad decision from the wild card after game week 3. So I think I did another knee jerk, and it was fully driven by price. And I've got James in. And you know, this isn't bad. This isn't a bad structure. This is where I'm at now. When did I get Foden in? Did I miss that? Yeah, I totally got Foden in last week. I just missed the whole Foden thing. I got Foden in for, who was it? Jesus Christ, so many game weeks. Gray, yeah, I went Gray to, he got an assist, I think, so that was nice. But I went Gray to Foden, which is fine. I think, again, it was a price rise thing, so I got him at 8.1, I think. Not 8, unfortunately. I think he was down as low as 7.8, so, man, you'd be stoked if you got him in at that point. But, you know, retrospect is such a thing, right? So, yeah, this is where I'm at now. I got James in. No free transfers left, and I'm wondering what's going to happen. I think now I'm kind of looking at, I wanted to get Son in, but I'm also thinking maybe Vardy has to go to Kane, or even straight to Ronaldo if he... I mean, I just watched the Champions League match this morning, and he scored 2. I think you know, Man United are going to pick themselves up, and I think he's just going to be... He's that guy who's going to be getting the goals, or you know, at least returning somewhat. And I think he's now down to 12.4. So prices again, I'm looking at them, which is maybe not the best thing to do, but I might not even go on Kane. I know they just got Conte, who's apparently the real deal. So I could go to Kane and then just ride it out to, I think it's game week 15 or whatever, where I think Spurs have Norwich, and then the week after, Man U have Norwich, and make the move then when everyone's going to. I won't be locked out of price. I think I get plenty with that. But look, I don't know. This is just a review of my season. I think maybe tomorrow I might do a transfer video and focus on my options and what other people's options are too. And obviously this isn't going to be a channel where you can get great advice, but maybe you can feel better about your own decision making or something. But anyway, I'd like people to, you know, like and subscribe, and maybe comment below, and you know, I might start doing like live streams because I'd like to just having layman conversations with other FPL coaches who aren't experts, just to kind of like make it fun or whatever, or laugh at each other's stupid decisions. Basuma, I'm kind of glad I've just hung on with him too. I mean, I don't know what I could have traded him to, but I've got a feeling, or maybe I'm just telling myself that that's going to pay off somehow, and he's gonna start getting like assists or something. I don't know. Whatever. Hindsight. But this isn't bad, right? This isn't bad. I know some people have the James and the Chilwell, and that would just be awesome. But Rudiger's solid. He's solid at the back, and I'm happy with that. I kind of want to go 4 in the middle, not 4 at the back, but I couldn't really, given when I've gotten all these guys in, I wouldn't want to really get rid of anyone. It just kind of sucks because I got Livramento on the bench, and I mean, obviously he can come in for a midfielder, but I feel like there's better value at the midfield now. I kind of, looking at Mbomo and some of the other options. Gallagher's looking good again, and Crystal Palace have really good fixtures, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's pretty nice along there. And here's the other one. I think I like the idea of getting Wilson in. I think I'm just going to hang on to Antonio. I just thought if people are going to start jumping off him, maybe I'd cash in now and get Wilson as a differential. But look, I don't know. I'll talk more about transfers tomorrow. I'll do another video with the same stupid intro. And I got to remember, I stopped shouting. Hopefully people can still hear this, the second half of this this crappy content. Anyway, thank you for watching if you got through this far. Drop a comment. I'd like to talk to people. I am ever so lonely. Anyway, Gronk out. Catch you all later. FPL,